Welcome back. We're so glad to have you back with us. In our first session, we had Butch Boraski, Commissioner Butch Boraski, as well as Pastor Ron Fairbairn. And the thing that I wanted to say in the first session was the fact that for the Christian Men's Fellowship Breakfast,
yes,
you're going to be leaving it,
yes,
or at least turning it over to someone else.
Right, and we're going to leave it over to Pastor Neil Owen from New Hope.
Okay.
And so if anybody would like to get information where we meet, and Pastor Neil's phone number is 775-727-1210. So if you'd like more information about the Christian Men's Fellowship, you can call Pastor Neil. And so he's kind of taken over. We've done this, for many years, and it's just been such a blessing, everything that we get to do. And
for those people that may not know who Pastor Neil is, when you mention that, if they also pay attention to some of the other shows here.
Oh, yes.
Because he's the one that provides One Man's Faith.
One Man's Faith.
So,
and I watch it every Sunday morning.
So, it's a fantastic show, and
yeah.
I encourage you to listen. And that's Pastor Neil, and he will also be responsible for Christian Men's Fellowship.
Yes. Yeah, okay. We're looking forward to it. It's such a great thing that we did, and getting together and men in this community. We're about one of the biggest groups in the country that meet every Wednesday morning consistently since 2006.
I think it's fantastic.
It is.
And it's enjoyable. And it's a good breakfast.
And you've been there too, Dr. Tom.
I go there whenever I can.
Yes.
It's 7 o'clock in the morning. It's kind of early for me now. It's, people say, well, hey, you were a principal in a high school and you had to get up early. You were in the military. Yeah, but now that I'm retired, I like to sleep in a little. And but I do get up every now and then and make it to the breakfast.
You bet.
And it's thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah.
The music, the fellowship, everything is just fantastic.
Yes.
So thanks to you, because
Brother.
it was you who started me to coming and encouraged me to come, and I'm just so glad that we have it, and it's still growing.
Yeah. No, it's still growing, brother. It's
still growing. Okay. Let's talk about you now. Pastor Ron, he said in the first segment how long he's been here and some of the things he's been involved in. But if you noticed, he's changed hats. He's when you see the red caps, you know right away that this is the person that was in the U.S. Marine Corps. The Marines, having served with the Marines, they're an elite unit. Marines, that's the smallest of the military services. And they are such a close-knit group. I'm retired Air Force, you have retired Navy, and you have retired Army, and you have Marines. You have Marines. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And that's just the way it is. And we all accept that. And we love the Marines because, as far as I'm concerned, they have the toughest job. They take care of things for us. I'm here today thanks to the U.S. Marine Corps. The attack, when I got my Purple Heart, it would have been given to my family had it not been for the U.S. Marine Corps. So I thank the Marines each and every day just for being here.
Well, I thank the Air Force for you, brother. We all did it together. Nobody is by themselves.
We're all on the team.
Yeah.
And the team mission is national defense for this country.
Yes, it is. It still is.
And that's what it's all about.
It still is.
Okay. Well, there's one other thing I want to talk about, and that's we have Prompt Life magazine. Now, I talk about Prompt Life magazine every now and then. This is not just an ad.
No, it is
not.
But
in the Prompt Life magazine, we have our veterans, our heroes. Yeah. And in this particular issue, July, August, it's the story of Pastor Ron. And I have to say, before I say anything else about that, is the fact that I've known Pastor Ron since I arrived here in 2008. Until he told me his story, I didn't realize that he and I were in some of the same places in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And some of the experiences that we experienced were identical. The problems that we face, and you talk about, I'm sure all of you have heard about PTSD. You hear about it, but you don't really understand what it's all about. And people who have PTSD try to hide it as best we can. We do the best we can on trying to live that normal life. But there's something inside, because of the effects, that causes us to do things that we normally would not do.
Well, it's what you do, and what PTSD is, that you keep reliving the traumatic things that happened to you. and you don't get over it, but you're able to live with it, and that's why I wrote the article, because I wanted people to understand. People have no idea the things that the Marines, the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy, they all had part of that. Yep. And you bring it home. You can't leave it. And so I got part of the name out there, Gail at the VA here. Man, she was just such a...
Gail Morgan.
Gail Morgan. Oh, God bless her.
Yes.
And the doctors that I got to work with. And, but we get to the point we live with it. But yet there's trigger points. And just like anything else in your life, and you have memories of things. And when Dr. Tom, when him and I got to talking about this, because I wrote an article in Prompt Life quite a while ago.
Yep.
And about the community and what we do as pastors, what we do as people that want to make this community better. And so we're just looking forward for the people to carry on. And so Ron Frazier, God bless that man. He's just been such a good friend ever since I met him. And I just look forward to working with him when I'm able to. In fact, he gave me a whole bunch of magazines, so I still have them. You can always contact me at my phone number, 775-419-4733, and I can get you a copy. I'm still sending them all over the United States because it's men that I worked with. In fact, one of the people that was with us was Lieutenant Lepore, Jim Lepore. And the day I got back from 2 months on vacation is that he sent me a letter about all that my company did.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And they were one of the most decorated company in Vietnam.
Okay.
We received so many awards and everything, and we were right in the middle of it. We were up there with Quezon, right when the Tet Offensive started. And in fact, I'd like to read to you information that Jim just sent to me. And it says, following Operation Swift Saber, my company was assigned to an area south and west of the Da Nang combat base. My company remained in this area, AO, area of operation, you know that, Doc.
Yes.
Until the 1st Marine Regiment departed South Vietnam had been on May 31st, 1971. By the June of 1968, the Tet Offensive was over. I got there in May, and that's what it's in my article. That's what happened. They put us on ship. Mm-hmm. Now I thought I was really a Marine because I had my all full pack on, my ammunition. I had, and we got to scale up the side of a ship on the nets.
Yep.
And then we got over to Quezon, and that's where the trigger point started, because you and I talked about that, Dr. Tom.
Yes.
We saw body bags after body bags
yes.
after body bags coming on that ship for what happened there. And let me tell you something. If people tell you we were defeated, no, we weren't. And I want to read this to you. By the June of 1968, the Tet Offensive was over. The Viet Cong had been destroyed as a cohesive fighting force during the previous 5 months. The North Vietnamese Army had not only to replace its own dead and wounded, but also to fill the ranks of the decimated Viet Cong units. The Tet Offensive had been a disastrous defeat for the Viet Cong. Its days as a national military organization were over. To avoid the total defeat in South Vietnam, the North Vietnamese would have to take over most of the war for the Viet Cong. Nevertheless, American media, faint-hearted U.S. Congressman, President Johnson, Walter Cronkite of CBS, anti-war protesters, and other timid souls began to portray the war as being lost, or at best, a stalemate. A clear victory had suddenly become some perverse logic, become the reason to declare failure, and began leaving South Vietnam. Yep. Let me tell you, we did not fail. We did not. And there isn't any of us, and you know, being a chaplain and going to the care centers since 1994. Every veteran I met, Dr. Tom, said, you give me a gun, you put me on the front line, and I'll still guard this country. Yep. Every single one of them, and that's what it's about.
Patriotism is
yes,
so
sir.
important. It is so important, and that's the feelings we've had then, that's the feelings we have now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no, we did not lose the war. Politicians lost the war.
Yeah.
And we understand that. And by our Constitution, we have to abide by what the politicians say. So we live with that.
We do.
But we bring home the memories. And one of the things Pastor Ron just said was, we were talking about Da Nang. Well, that's where I was stationed.
Yeah, me too.
At Da Nang. So we have a lot of memories about Da Nang from the Air Force side, from the Marine Corps side, and I spoke to a lot of Marines while I was there. Then he came over to the base, and one mistake I made was going out with the Marine Corps. Air Force guys should never go out with the Marines. We're not ready for that. We're not ready for that at all. But Marines are just fantastic, and like I said before, I thank them each and every day.
Well, you and I have got to work on so many different things in this community, yes. Dr. Tom. You know, and it's just it's a pleasure to be able to do that. But you know, and we are my wife and I are moving. We're moving to Carson City, and a lot greener and a lot cooler. I went to high school there, and so I'm looking forward to it. My wife's looking forward to it. So
we're going to miss him. Pastor Ron he's been a backbone in this community for a long time. I want to tell you some other things that many people don't know. One of the things that we have, and it's one of our veteran organizations, provide an ice cream social at Inspirations. This is the Inspiration Senior Living Facility. And it's only once a month, but the veterans at the Inspirations, veterans, their friends and their families, and other people just that know veterans come out. And so we fill the room, and they come out because we also provide entertainment. And one of the entertainers, and I won't use it that way because he brings excellent music, is Pastor Ron.
Well, my second moniker is Harmonica Ron in this community. And so on the 15th, we're going to be at the Inspirations from 2 to 3. Yep. And I got a wonderful person, and she's going to come and she's going to sing with me.
Fantastic.
I always like to do that. I always like to bring talented people. It makes me, you know.
So this coming weekend, on the 15th, you're going to be there and provide the music. So if anybody else would like to come and just hear Pastor Ron, this is something we do for the community. Yeah. And without people like Pastor Ron, we'd never be able to accomplish what we do.
And if you didn't do this show, we wouldn't be able to talk about it.
So I'm going to continue doing this show. We're going to continue talking about Pastor Ron. Even after he's up in the Reno area, we're still going to be talking about him because he's done so much in this community. And when we talk about the Christian Men's Fellowship, we're going to talk about him. If we talk about people feeding the homeless, we're going to talk about him. If we talk about kids that are displaced from their families, we'll talk about Pastor Ron. He's been involved in all of this and bringing young people over at Central Valley Baptist Church. He was involved in all of that as well. So everybody knows him, everybody loves him, and we're going to miss you, Pastor Ron.
Well, I'll be visiting.
Okay, well, that sounds great. Now, you come back and see us in the next session. Thank you.